The big story that we're tracking at the moment, this is with regards to the Supreme Court, which is set to pronounce its verdict tomorrow on petitions challenging the process of arrest and seizure. This is as far as Money Laundering Act is concerned. Let me go across to both Sukirti and Arvind joining us with more on this. Sukirti, coming first to you, what are we expecting as far as this case is concerned? What was the entire case like? Who had filed it and what is the Supreme Court looking at?
This was an entire batch of petitions that the Supreme Court had been dealing with. This goes up to 242 petitions, including some very high-profile ones filed by politicians like Karti, Chidambaram, as well as former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh. They had wide powers that the ED gets under the new amendments to the PMLA Act, which gives them a lot of new powers and make the bail conditions more strict. Under these new amendments, they will not have to give the ECIR copy, or which is similar to an FIR copy, that will not have to be given to the person who's being arrested. It makes the definition of money laundering and proceeds of crime very, very broad. Statements that have been made by the accused during the investigation, those would be considered as evidence in the trial. All of these conditions, these new changes were challenged by this entire batch of petitions, which was heard by a bench led by Justice K.M. Khanvilkar. These were lengthy hearings that went on for several weeks at length. The centre, on the other hand, had defended the changes in the PMLA Act, saying that it has led to several crores worth of money being attached in the terms of assets. This money pertains to fugitives like Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi. Even money involved with certain terrorists, that had also been attached because of the kind of new amendments that have been made to the PMLA Act, and it had said that stricter norms like these are absolutely needed with the kind of cases that the country has been dealing with. However, all eyes now on the top court when this Justice A.M. Khanvilkar-led bench will pronounce its verdict tomorrow on whether these amendments will continue or those will be struck down.
Arvind, this is also the same time when we are seeing the opposition cry foul over several cases, especially with regards to the Enforcement Directorate. Sonia Gandhi was questioned today. Farooq Abdullah has been charge-sheeted in another case, and Trinamool Congress Minister Partha Chatterjee is also in ED custody. Can it have any bearing on those cases?
Yeah, Maha, it's also very interesting that the judgment is coming on the day that Justice Khanvilkar, who heard this matter, who presided over the bench, who presided the bench that heard all this, the batch of petitions that were filed challenging certain provisions or various provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So this judgment is being given on the last day of his office in the Supreme Court. So also very importantly, like Sukirti was mentioning, several petitions, almost over 200 petitions have been filed challenging several provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, including the 2019 amendments, etc. But also very importantly, something that everyone is waiting for this particular judgment is regarding Section 50 of the PMLA Act. Because even today morning, when you ask this very question regarding on what mode, in which mode the questions or the answers of the accused in this particular case are being recorded by the Enforcement Directorate, because if you could read Section 50 of the PMLA, the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, it makes it very clear that any statement given before an Enforcement Directorate officer is like giving a statement before a judge. No other police agency, let it be CBI, let it be NIA, let it be any state police, any statement that is being given before a police officer is not admissible as an evidence before a court of law. But any statement that has been given before an ED officer is an admissible evidence in court of law. That's like giving a statement before a judge. So that is a very stringent provision that has been challenged by several people before the Supreme Court. And even this particular case wherein the statements of Sonia Gandhi and let it be Partha Chatterjee, all these statements are also being recorded by the Enforcement Directorate under the same very section 50 of PMLA. Any statement that is being given by Sonia Gandhi before the Enforcement Directorate officer is an admissible evidence before the court of law. So that's why this very judgment is extremely important tomorrow, because this is something that goes into the very root of the powers of the Enforcement Directorate and also the constitutional validity of several stringent provisions of PMLA. This judgment was waited for all along, and tomorrow a very important day for all those people who are facing ED investigation, and Supreme Court will give us judgment on the pleas challenging various provisions of the PMLA Act.
Sukirti and Arvind, both of you, many thanks for getting us those details and explaining the significance of this verdict which is expected in the Supreme Court tomorrow.